John Milius famously said, if we didn't have Arnold, we would have had to build him. There are certain kinds of movies where you need muscles, and you were the one who brought the muscles.
Well, to me, this was like music to my ears, because when everyone in Hollywood said, you would never make it because you have those big muscles, for then 5 years later, for Milius to say, if we wouldn't have had Schwarzenegger, we would have had to build one, because he's the only one that had muscles. And Conan the Barbarian cannot be done without muscles. So then Jim Cameron came along just to top this off. And Jim Cameron, they said to him, I said, what made this movie so successful and so believable and so real? He said, I think it had a lot to do with Schwarzenegger's accent, because he was the only one that didn't talk like us. He talked like a machine. So I did not know if I should take this as a knock or whatever, or should I go and get in touch with my speech coach and get the money back from him or what? I had no idea, but I loved it because I said to myself, they said, Arnold, you would never make it in Hollywood because you have this enormous body and you have this accent. People don't make it in Hollywood with an accent. No one has ever become a leading man, so forget about it. So here's now another thing where it became an advantage, that what they used to call a disadvantage became an advantage. And then, of course, the name in the 70s, it all of a sudden became very popular, that you keep your name, that you don't create a stage name, that you keep your name, and all of a sudden, Schwarzenegger was in. And now, from 1980 on, it was exactly what I envisioned, the name above the title. Schwarzenegger, Terminator, Schwarzenegger, Commando. So that was, exactly what I dreamt of. My career became a reality again. Not just the bodybuilding, but also the movies.
And yet in Commando, we finally got to see you also had a sense of humor. You weren't just a machine, that you were an intelligent person with a sense of humor, and yet they tried to keep you from displaying your sense of humor. How did you get twins made?
I had a very clear vision of all of my goals, and I also saw myself very clearly in a comedy. Because I said to myself, I have a funny bone in me, and I'm not a stiffer or who is overly serious. I can laugh at myself and all this, so I could do it. But how do you make everyone buy into that, or anyone buy into that, when the studio executives at that point now made millions and millions of dollars profits from my action movies? So how do you tell them now, hey, let's stop the action movies now for a second, let's do a comedy? But I was again very fortunate to find Ivan Reitman, who just directed Ghostbusters, and he basically said, hey, Arnold, you will be terrific in a comedy. I'm going to go and develop some projects for you. And so he went out and developed, one of them was Twins. We did the movie. It was the first movie that made over $100 million domestically and over $100 million foreign. Not even my action movies made this kind of money at that point. So this really gave me now a whole new life in my career, because now all of a sudden I was offered Kindergarten Cop and Junior and True Lies and Jingle All the Way, and all of those comedies that I was doing that I didn't do before then.
To me, this was your most sophisticated blending of the humor and the action film was Last Action Hero. But this was the first time you rubbed up against what politics can do to the movie industry.
I think that what happened was basically, as you said, politics got involved. George Bush in 1992 lost the presidential election to get reelected, and Bill Clinton came in. And so be it. People spoke, and now it was a Democrat. But the press, the liberal press, immediately wanted to kind of destroy everything that was conservative. So because I campaigned for Bush, and so did Bruce Willis and some of the other guys, Stallone and so on, they wanted to crucify us. Their day is over. The following year, I'm doing a movie, True Lies. And True Lies comes out, and the movie goes through the roof. It was the #1 at the box office, and it was just a huge, huge success. And now, what are you going to say there? It was during the Clinton administration. Wow, maybe we were wrong. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I enjoyed that because to me it's always kind of good. From a overall strategy, you have to understand, when you do a strategy for your whole life and careers and all of this stuff, you got to let the press be able to take you down. Why? Because any movie that you look at, or any TV series you look at, the hero always gets dragged down, gets always beaten down, and then on the end he surfaces and he's the victor. So this is a story. People love that story. So this is why I never kind of fought that story and said, oh my God, how dare they're writing about me like that. I say, okay, I get it. This year it's my turn. Take Arnold down, and then in the next movie, we build him back up again. I'm laughing about it because I see this as a big stage play. It's part of the play. Let it be. So that's exactly what happened. I let it be, and it worked out perfectly.